A very good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I am Gaurav Tripathi and I am Sergeant at Arm for today's session. I welcome you all to the 78th Toastmaster session of Radisys SoundBytes Club. In our Toastmaster sessions, we follow some ground rules. So please let me explain those. Rule number 1, please mute yourself when you are not actively speaking. Rule number 2, please be mindful while talking about sex, religion, and politics. And rule number 3, please turn on your video to support the speakers. In our Toastmaster sessions, every member gets the opportunity to play different roles like timer, grammarian, accounter, or TMOD, as well as they get the opportunity to deliver different speeches like table topics and evaluations, prepared speeches. So these activities helps each member to develop different dimensions of the communication, which is in line with our club's mission also. So mission of our club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop their communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. Now moving to our today's theme, which is India's heritage, right? So when we talk about heritage, it is something which is transferred from one generation to another generation. And in our IT industry, we use this concept very well in terms of inheritance, where the child entity gets the attribute of its parent entity. For the big country like India, where you can see a lot of diversity, its heritage can be seen in its rich art, its architecture, culture, and society. So these all are the visual tools which can help to understand about any nation. But India has a very important heritage which can only be felt or practiced. That is its spirituality. Our scriptures like Vedas, Puranas, and Upanishads, they talk about spirituality and its practices in a great extent. And I feel we are blessed with those knowledge. And it's our responsibility if we can learn some knowledge out of it and spread it with the world. Today, we'll learn more about India's heritage, and our TMOD will walk us through that journey. So to officially start our session now, I would like to welcome our newly elected club president, who has served our club as a president in the last tenure. So please put your hands together to welcome new president of SoundBytes Club, Toastmaster Chitra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for that introduction and arranging the meeting. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and if we have guests. I'd like to welcome all of you to the 78th session of SoundBytes Toastmaster Club. It's been my pleasure and honor to have been the president and now have become the de facto president-elect of SoundBytes Club. And I hope I can do justice to this role, at least play this role better than last time by using all the learnings from the previous time. Well, Gaurav beautifully introduced the topic or the theme for today, India's heritage. When we talk about India's heritage, I think way back when I was in college, I had started reading this book, and for whoever has seen it would understand and sympathize with me that I could not obviously finish it because I had to finish engineering too, was this book called Discovery of India. So it is this thick somewhere in my bookshelf. It might still be there. But anyways, so immediately when I saw the topic today, I remembered that book. And for most of us who know, it was written by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru when he was in jail during the Quit India movement. And he dedicated this book to the inmates of the jail itself, right? The book deals with history of ancient India and discovers through various periods from Indus Valley civilization to whatever his knowledge of Vedas and Upanishads and various mythologies and stories in different parts of the country during his travels. In fact, a lot about India, which we don't even learn during the college or school history textbooks, I learned from the book. And for those who probably cannot go through the entire book because it is very difficult to read, there was always this Doordarshan serial, I'm guessing some of you who are as old as me would have watched, called Bharat Ek Khoj, where this guy who looks exactly like Nehru narrates the whole story, right? So it is still available in YouTube for those who are buffs of ancient history and things like that, can go and watch it. Now, while I was on the topic of uh, history and India's heritage and mythology, and somebody today we have the Toastmaster of the day, somebody who is an avid reader and likes to read mostly Telugu books like which include Mahabharata, Abhigyana Shakuntalam, Sundarakandam, etc. She's an enthusiastic Toastmaster and passionate towards art and craft, interested in classical dance, and she spends her leisure time in reading books. Her speeches are endearing, and every time she comes on the stage, she lights it up. To begin this session, let's call Toastmaster Harshita the TMOD for the day.
I'm audible, right? Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Toastmasters. This time, the pattern of our SoundBytes Toastmasters meeting is little changed. Here, there are two prepared speeches. First, the prepared speech followed by its evaluation. Second, prepared speech and followed by its evaluation. And the timer report for the prepared speeches. And in between, followed with my speeches for the Indian heritage. Yeah. It's my privilege to share my little knowledge on India's heritage. India has a history that is 5,000 years old, and Indian culture is very extensive and profound and unique. India is one among the oldest civilizations. India is secular, that is, any religion can be followed. The highlights of the Indian heritage lie in the treasure of art, architecture, classical dance, music, and the occupation and the traditional occupations. Firstly, I would like to explain about the Konark Sun Temple, which is recognized as one of the world's heritage centers by UNESCO. I will share my screen a little. Let me know if my screen is visible for you. Yeah. Now this Konark Sun Temple resembles the chariot of the sun god. It has the 12 pipes of wheels around the north and south sides of the temple. Yeah, this resembles a wheel. This wheel consists of 8 major spokes. These are the 8 major spokes. This wheel acts as a sundial also throughout all the seasons and months. I told not 12 pairs of wheels, means each pair resembles a month. And the pair is of each month, Krishna and Shukla Paksha. Now I told it consists of 8 major spokes, right? In between, there are this 8 major spokes divides the 24 hours of a day to 3 hours, cutting 8 cuts into 3 hours. And the minor spokes in between will further cut this 3 hours into 1.5 hours. And in between a major spoke and a minor spoke, there are 30 small stone beads. These are a little large enough for the shadow to fall. And based on the sunlight falling in between the beads, either starting or middle or end, this 30 beads will further divide this 1.5 hour into 3 minutes, each 3 minutes. Based on starting or middle or end of the space between the 2 beats, which is 3 minutes, we can calculate the time accurately to 1 minute. And this time calculation will work throughout the day and the night also, and throughout all the seasons. 12 pairs of wheels, no, based on the month, we need to see the wheel, the north and south sides. This is a great Indian architecture, like for measuring the time all over the world, all over the year. Yeah, next, I would like to share about the Aryabhatta. Just a second. I'm not able to get the meeting screen. Yeah, stop share. Yeah, I got it. Now I want to explain about the Aryabhatta. He's the father of Indian astronomy and mathematics. He flourished in the period of 499 CE. It is the Gupta period, which is termed as Golden Age. First, I want to share a little story about his concentration, levels of his concentration. Every day in the night or in the early morning, Aryabhatta makes an asana to sit. Asana in the sense with smooth grass sticks called dharbas. He will prepare this asana for observing celestial stars and their movements. Every time he places 50 dharbas horizontally and 50 dharbas vertically. One day suddenly he found that the sky and stars are little nearer to him than every day. Then finally he realizes that one of his disciples accidentally dropped a few dharbas on top of his asana, which is irregular, and the size and the height of his asana increased to 1 millimeter. Because of this height change, he finds that the sky and the stars came 1 millimeter nearer to the original height. That is his concentration level, which mainly we need to observe here. His main inventions include gravity, geometry, squares, cubes, and nth root systems, place value system, and the invention of zero, which is the main contribution for the mathematics, and value of pi, trigonometry, algebra, decimals, and compound interest, calculations, ratios, everything. He also discovered the planetary motions or elliptical, and he predicted the formation of eclipses. He contributed in discovering and preparation of the Indian calendar, that is Panchanga. He discovered that the earth rotates around its axis and days or nights are formed because of this. He only the first person to tell that the planets and the moon shine by the reflected light. And the Indian government named the first satellite Aryabhatta with his name, launched on his honor in 1975. Yes. Now let me introduce the role players for today's session. First, I would like to introduce the timer role by Shraddha. Yeah, hi Shraddha, please bring the timing signals.
Yeah, good afternoon to all the fellow Toastmasters. Today, I will be playing a role as a timer. So my role as a timer is to monitor time during the prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluations. At the end of the meeting, I will report the times of each participant. This will let you know if you delivered your presentation within the allotted time frame. So timing for prepared speech is 5 to 7 minutes, in which at 5 minutes I will change my background to green. At 6 minutes I will change my background to yellow, and at 7 minutes I will change my background to red card, which means that speaker has to finish his speech. Plus or minus 30 seconds is allowed. And timing for evaluations are 2 minutes to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, showing the green light. At 2.5 minutes, I will be showing the yellow light. And at 3 minutes, I will show the red light. So these are the timing for prepared speeches and evaluations. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Shraddha. Now the evaluator roles are by Sairam and others for the prepared speeches. The first evaluator is the Sairam, is a part of BBA DV team, and he's a Toastmaster since 3 years. Toastmaster Sairam, please explain the evaluating criteria for the L2 S2 prepared speech by Suhas.
Okay. Sometimes there are times when technology lets you down, and this is one among those. Unfortunately, I'm not able to open the document that Gaurav had sent, but yeah, probably I don't know if that's something that Suhas has done or not, but anyways, keeping in mind what we usually do, the idea is that we will evaluate the Toastmaster on the basis of the requirements that have been provided in the acceptance, in the Too much of epic briefings happening actually. So we will evaluate on the basis of the requirements that have been present as part of the L2 S2 role, and on that basis we will be evaluating the Toastmaster, and also keeping in mind the different requirements in terms of the eye contact, the coherence, and the way the whole subject is presented. So keeping all this in mind, things will be evaluated, and you know the rest. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sairam. The next evaluator is Adarsh. Adarsh likes to travel and read books mostly. TM Adarsh, please explain the evaluating criteria for L2S1 speech, prepared speech by Bhargavi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshita, and good afternoon, everyone. So today Bhargavi will be giving her L2S1 speech. So the goal of our L2S1 speech is to identify the primary leadership style of hers. So she has to share some aspect of her leadership and discuss or multiple aspects if they are there, and discuss what these leadership styles are and how they relate to her. So looking forward to the speech from Bhargavi today. So that's the criteria. So with that, back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Harshita.
Yeah, thank you, Adarsh. Now let me announce the prepared speeches. The first prepared speech is by Suhas for L2S2 speech. Suhas is a always cheerful person and happy to be a part of any conversation. He's hyper at times but friendly every time. According to him, Indian heritage is a base of knowledge, architectural wonders, culture, and music that soothes the soul, different dance styles, and varied food culture. His speech title includes Understanding Our Communication Style, and his title is Talk It Talk. Yeah, thanks. Toastmaster Suhas, yeah, you can take over.
ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನದ ವೇಳೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಮ್ಮ ಭೋಜನವನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Hi, Suhas.
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
I couldn't understand.
Okay, Gaurav. Okay, I understand. You did not understand my communication. Okay, let me switch back to English. English, though it was imported, now it's official. Okay, today the topic that I got to speak is understanding your communication style. Understanding the way we talk, the way we express what we feel, and the way we make sure that the person in front of you understands it. Now, all this starts when you are born. The moment you are born, as per our Indian culture, you know that there is a custom that a specific root, a syrup from a specific root is made to touch your tongue. And the person who does that, you get the same characteristics of that guy. So it's made sure that one nice speaking guy, one polite speaking guy, or one smart person, smart lady in the house does that ritual, so that you talk like the way she does or he does, or even better than that. That's where your path for you to talk starts, and the blabbers of a child, and slowly as you grow, the way you talk to your parents, your teachers, your friends, and others start. Cut to, in your professional life, the same thing happens when you start working. You are out of the college and you start earning, or you are into something, even though it's a research, you are into contributing and engaging people. A child takes time to understand its surroundings and doesn't care what he wants. He just wants to put out his energy. The same thing happens when you are in your start of your career. You just want to talk, and you want to put out your ideas. You don't understand that whether the person in front of you understands it or he doesn't. Next, as the child grows, he thinks, he understands, okay, he's going to listen, but he wants to prove his point, so he aggressively pitches it. Same thing as you grow in your career, you try to put your points, be aggressive, and communicate it no matter what. Though you understand it, you tend to aggressively put. When you reach a certain stage from your childhood to your high school, you reluctantly sometimes listen, adjust to your parents, your teachers, though you wanted to convey something else. Cut to back to your professional life. As you grow, you tend to listen and make sure that you also need to be heard. And when that happens, you try to adjust, you try to listen to others. And that's when you realize what is your communication style. How I have developed this and how I have start making a communication to in the team so that others also listen. There starts an improvisation. There you understand that your talk need not be just a talk. It has to add a value to it. How do you add value to it? You need to polish your communication like a story. I used to be the way I just explained. Now I understand how I want to put forth my talk so that it adds a value in front of people. You need to listen, you need to get it done. That becomes a task where you weave a story out of it. Like Chitra pointed out, we all have heard, read, or seen the legacy of India. You remember, if any of you might have also read a book called Holy Cow by Sarah McDonald, where she hates India, but slowly going through all the different delicacies, she starts loving it. Same is with the communication. You hate it at one point of time, saying that nobody is listening to you, nobody is understanding you. You just have to put forth your point. You become an introvert in the process. You become an extrovert in the process, but slowly you understand your own style and make sure that your communication is heard. The way you talk is heard. The way you talk is understood. That first, it brings inner peace. That you have listened, you have understood, and your task is also complete. Second thing, you have made sure that your communication has brought some value which makes happy. And then on, there is no looking back. You would try to improvise it, improve it daily or in every meeting. There are less of confrontation and more of a dialogue. You graduate from being a confrontational person to a dialogue-based person. That's where your growth starts. So communication is not just about talking, it is about your growth. And that growth is defined in the way you curate your talks and make sure that it is well communicated. Thank you, Toastmasters. Let's have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Suhas. Now I would like to call upon the evaluator, Sairam, for evaluating the Suhas speech.
Did you intentionally choose me, Sairam?
Yeah, actually, there's some scores to be settled. So, I think I should thank Gaurav for that. Looks like this looks like an extempore evaluation. Actually, thanks to my 2 o'clock meeting, which I have to attend. So I will go. I think a slight change in how we usually do it, but sorry about that. So this is what I think about the speech. So I think one thing is I really like the way that you connected our different communication styles to how a baby evolves in terms of learning a language and how its behavior changes over a period of time. And I think it was nice of you to have drawn a parallel to both of them. And I can completely empathize with why you chose this particular way of putting this forward. So absolutely with you on that. So that was something which was really nice. And I think the other example that I think was in terms of the book that you quoted. So I actually, thanks to the network here, I couldn't get the name of the book, but the thing is, if I thought that example was again apt with regards to what you wanted to convey. So in that way, I felt that by giving this analogy and by giving the right examples, you were able to drive home a point, which was pretty nice. But one thing that I felt could be better was in terms of the start. So I thought that at least my expectation from Suhas is that it's always laced with some humor and punches, be it an epic briefing or or a Toastmasters session. So I think today I actually missed that part of it, which is like a characteristic or a trademark of Suhas. So I think you should continue to work on your strengths and make us enjoy those also. So I think that's something that we could do.
I wanted to avoid being typecasted. So intentionally, I took a bypass this time.
Yeah. But Rajnikant can't get, Rajnikant can't escape the fans. So yeah, I think that's something that I thought we could do better. And apart from that, I think the ending part of it was also fine, but just that I thought towards the end, it kind of mellowed down a little bit. So a little bit of like a revision or a crux in terms of that final blow, I think would be helpful. So all marks to you, Suhas. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sairam, for the evaluation. Now I would like to call for a second prepared speech. That is the L1 S1 speech by Bhargavi. According to Bhargavi, India is a land of varied cultures, traditions, which is a gift that is passed on from the generations. And this is the only way to preserve the rich heritage is by respecting each other's traditions, cultures, and thereby live in harmony. The title of this speech is Deal with the Situation. All the best, Bhargavi. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah, you can hear me fine? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A couple of months back, I was watching this cartoon show called Peppa Pig with my daughter. And in one of the episodes, the teacher asked the playgroup children on what they want to be when they grow up. One says, I want to be a teacher. The other says, doctor, a policeman, superhero, and so on. When the teacher asks why, each one responds by saying, because they tell others what to do. Now, I was very curious, and I turned to my daughter and asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? Amma, I want to be like you. I was on cloud 9. Wow, my daughter really looks up to me. I asked why, obviously expecting a flattering answer. And she said, Amma, you always tell me, do this, do that. You tell Papa, do this, do that. She didn't stop there. You tell your team, do this, do that. It's fun to tell others what to do, she concluded. Well, she almost compared me to an autocratic leader like Hitler. Hold on to that thought. I'll come back to my leadership style in a while. Well, commanding others sounds like a lot of fun to a 6-year-old. To be a leader, it is simply not enough to tell others what to do. There's more to it. A leader is someone who empowers others to achieve their goals. And a leader is a combination of many attributes, mainly a good communicator, a good listener, and someone who leads by example. And the approach that we take towards becoming this effective leader is the leadership style. We have seen so many examples of exemplary leaders in our history. Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., Steve Jobs, and so on. These were some legendary leaders. Did they have a secret formula for leadership? No. They all came from different backgrounds. They had different personality, different attitudes. They achieved success because of their different skill sets. There is no one success mantra for leadership. A general perception is that being a participative, supportive, and democratic leader is better than an authoritative leader. Hold on to that thought again. At a high level, I would like to generalize or categorize the leadership styles into 4. 1, directive. Here, you tell the person or the people that you're interacting with on what the goal is, what a good job looks like. You lay out a step-by-step plan on how to achieve that goal. They just follow the sequence and the rules. 2, coaching. This is where you're still directing and closely monitoring the team, but you open up the two-way communication. You solicit suggestions, but the decision is still with you. 3, supportive. Here, you support your people's effort. You solicit suggestions. You help them achieve their goal by motivating, encouraging, and supporting. 4, delegating style. Here, you turn tables. The responsibility of decision-making or problem-solving is on the people. Though I sort of knew that my leadership style was a mix of directive and supportive, I had to confirm. So I took a series of assessments, and not everything gave me the same result. It was because the questions and the situations in each of these assessments were different. So that's when I realized that it is the situation and the kind of people that you interact with influences the way you lead them. The way I would interact with the team that I worked with 2 years ago was a combination of directive and coaching. I would be very directive with the junior members in the team who were just starting off or very new to the team or the project, because that is the point in time that they need more direction and guidance to grow further in that path. I would like to draw an analogy to parenting here with the directive style. As many of the new parents or parents here would know, that the initial few years, you're literally spoon feeding the baby. You're directing and guiding them on what to do. For example, telling them how to clean up after a meal, potty training, telling them what to touch and what not to touch. You don't go and ask them for suggestions, would you? Coaching style is what I employed when to the same set of people who kind of gain knowledge over time and who are slightly experienced. This is where you would exchange ideas and methodologies, but the decision was still with me. I relate this to the current phase of parenting my 7-year-old, where she needs a combination of both direction and support. Though she thinks she's Miss Know-It-All, she still needs help with her homework and learning in general. Coming to the recent team that I worked with, here I was very new to the domain, and I worked with some really competent and experienced team members. Here, directive or coaching won't work. It was more of supportive and delegative style is what I used to interact with the team. It was more of facilitating them to achieve a goal. Well, this applies to parenting as well, where as children grow up, as parents, we need to take a step back and support them and help them decide things on their own, take control of their lives. I still struggle with the delegation style. And most of my performance evaluations have been that you delegate more so that you get more time on your own to focus on other aspects of the project. Well, I have a long way to go as a parent and as a leader, but you would ask me, isn't it unfair to treat people differently? What I have learned is there is no one size fits all leadership style. There is nothing so unequal as the equal treatment of unequals. So my goal is to become a situational leader who can adapt various leadership styles to different situations and cater to the needs of the team, like their expertise, competence, experience, egos, and personalities. Like the saying goes, the best leaders' work is done when people say, we did it ourselves. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bhargavi, for the wonderful speech. Now, again, I would like to share a few words about the Indian heritage. Now, I would like to explain about the sage Sushruta. His period is 6 BCE. He's the father of the Indian medicine and father of the plastic surgery. But now it is so bad that we are searching for the foreign countries in medicine and surgeries. Yeah, his period is called as the golden age of surgery. He is the author of the book called Sushruta Samhita, which includes the Ayurveda for curing ailments and describes about 120 surgical instruments and 300 surgical procedures also. Sushruta is one of the first to induce anesthesia while performing the surgery. He also successfully made skin transplantation and the reconstruction of nose via surgeries. And he gave the techniques for healing for 12 varieties of fractures and 6 types of bone dislocations. He is the person to suggest that a student of medicine should learn and practice the medicine for 6 years before applying it. He is the first person in the human history that student of medicine or surgery should learn about the human body and its functionalities and its organs by dissecting a dead body, and which is being followed till this today in the medical industry. And his idol is also located in the Royal Australian College of Surgeons in Melbourne, Australia. It is located in our India also. It is our good. Yeah. Next, I would like to share some ideas about our Indian civilization. Generally, the civilizations are evolved near the rivers, in the bank of the rivers, as the soil is fertile for cultivation and water is available freely. Indus Valley civilization or Harappan Mohenjo-daro is one of the ancient civilizations in India and in the world also. It flourished in 2500 to 1700 BCE. This Harappa and Mohenjo-daro are situated in Punjab, India, and in Sindh region of Pakistan. This region is this age is termed as the Bronze Age. Coming to the civilization, the town planning of the people is well laid. The streets are laid out evenly at the right angles. There's a line with tar and concrete, but now our streets are really irregular in the cities as well. Yeah. And there is a good drainage system, underground drainage system with burnt bricks and stone. There is a rainwater harvesting system everywhere, and for every house should have a rainwater harvesting system according to their civilization. And their main occupations include irrigation, trade, brick constructions, handloom, pottery, etc. And the coins during the period is made of bronze, and ornaments are made of gold, silver, and ivory. They never use plastics. Women in this period are also highly civilized and educated in the civilizations. And in Mohenjo-daro, there is a great bath of 12 by 7 meters wide, finely fitted with brick, and the edges are laid with the gypsum plaster. There are staircases at both the sides. This is used for rituals and bathing also. And there is a facility of the rainwater also to harvest into this great bath. And I just want to share a few words about Ram Setu, that is Adam's Strait, which is laid at the shortest distance between India and Sri Lanka along the Indian Ocean. This is a chain of natural limestone shoals, which is said to be sailing during Treta Yuga of Rama's time. This is laid between the Pamban Island, also in the Rameshwaram of Tamil Nadu at the India's border, and it leads into the Mannar Island of Sri Lanka. It is 48 kilometers wide and 1 meter in depth, and which separates the Gulf of Mannar, the strait between the India and Sri Lanka. But we are not aware of what technology they use to find the shortest distance between the India and Sri Lanka. Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And now I would like to call upon the evaluator Adarsh for evaluating the L1S1 stage by Bhargavi. Over to you, Adarsh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshita. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. And when in India, you do as the Indians do. So such is the diversity of our culture. And we also began by saying how we should respect each other's diversity. And what was interesting in Bhargavi, your speech to me was some spirit of that was carried into the way a leader should behave as well. Because I think the bottom line of what you were saying was there is no one size that fits all. And I think today we've been drawing parallels about children and growing. I think this was another parallel that I could think of that was I felt occurred to me the way you summarized what a leader is. So you said about how it really depends on the people and it depends upon the situation. I think it encapsulates probably the entire discussion I think that we've seen today. Now, coming to, there were just so many good things about your speech. I'll maybe quickly cover the obvious ones, like you stood up and you delivered a speech, and there were gestures, which is kind of a rare thing to see these days in Toastmasters. So I think that is something I think to be appreciated. So besides this, I also really like the way you had humor in your speech in the beginning. It was both interesting and it was funny. And you engaged the audience with not, although there was some theory involved, it was kept to a minimum where only as much as necessary without actually making it a drag. And you always had your own, because a lot of times we give a feedback and almost the standard feedback is wish you told something that actually connected with your own personal I think especially here your own personal leadership style. I think that is something I can say it's something that was covered 100% in your speech. Again, it was brilliant, I would say, in that aspect, because there was a very good balance of information. At the same time there was a personal touch to it, which I felt was what made your speech so great. Now, coming to a couple of things which I would say is maybe an improvement was maybe it was described in a little differently than the way I felt, but a couple of times you said, hold on to that thought. And I'm the kind of person who kind of just stays there once he holds on to a thought and doesn't move forward. So I think if I look back and summarize, I think it still makes sense. But I think if you made some cross reference to those parts where we held on to that thought, structurally speaking, I would say it would, give a little more punch to the speech, or I would say a punch. But it wasn't that, even besides that, there were a lot of punches in your speech, which I really liked. I think one quote that you said, I think that was, again, I felt, very nicely, it captured the essence of your speech and today's session. I think what you said, there is nothing so unequal as equal treatments of unequals. Once I wrote it down, I actually understood, which was good for me. So I felt I think that was a really brilliant quote there. I think it, like I said, it was summarized really well there. Now, besides this, I think overall your speech, it was peppered with humor, and there was a lot of insight, and at the same time, it was personal. I think that's what made your speech so great, I would say. I think overall, it was a speech that I found very hard to do any nitpicking. So overall, that's my feedback for you. I really did not pay attention to the timer. So overall, great job, Bhargavi. So all the best for your next speech. Looking forward to hear more. Yeah, with that, I'll hand it back to the Toastmaster of the day, Harshita.
Yeah, thank you, Adarsh, for the evaluation. Now this is the time for the timers report. I would like to call upon the timer, Toastmaster Shraddha, for the timer report for prepared speeches and evaluations.
Okay, so the timers report is ready. So the first one is Suhas sir for his speech. It took 6 minutes and 6 seconds, and which is in time. And evaluation for Suhas sir was done by Sairam sir, and it has taken sir has taken 3 minutes and 6 seconds. And timing for next evaluation, next speech given by Bhargavi was 6 minutes and 46 seconds, and evaluation, which was done by Adarsh, took 4 minutes and 8 seconds. And meeting started at 1:31, and good that it started on a very right time. So that's all from timing report. I would like to hand over back to Harshita.
Yeah, thank you, Shraddha, for the valid time report, and which is accurate also. Thank you. Now, the links for the online feedback and voting will be shared by the Gaurav in the chat.
Yeah, I have shared it with everyone, and everyone can access those links and provide the votes.
Yeah, please share the valuable feedback and voting for the role players.
Yeah. And these links are accessible for everyone. So if someone is facing the issue, please let me know. We'll try to rectify the issue. We have received 8 votes. So is anyone facing the issue? We are 10 participants here.
Yeah, just a second, Gaurav. I'm in the process.
Yeah, okay.
So Vikas, this is your second session, Toastmaster session. He ran off once I asked him a question.
What is this?
His last session.
Sorry, Adarsh, I cut you. You were telling something.
I was just saying this is definitely his last session.
Pritesh is a member. Huh? Okay, Vikas is back. Maybe I shouldn't ask. So Pritesh and Vikas, if it is possible, can you guys come on video and share your experience? Okay.
Yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vikas.
Okay. Is he frozen just for me? It's okay. Pritesh, do you want to go?
I can go. So I have attended around 3 to 4 sessions right now, and it's been amazing. Lots of new things to learn about. Various topics are discussed here. Like today it was Indian heritage. Last time it was traveling. So it's overall, it's a great
Yeah, thanks, Toastmaster Pritesh. We are actually going to start our membership process now. So Toastmaster Sudhindra would be getting in touch with you. It would be great if you can become a member of our club, and like you're already attending the sessions, and become a member and start delivering prepared speeches as well. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Chitra. So results are ready. I have shared it over Teams with you.
Okay, so I will share my screen quickly. Sure. Okay. So the best speaker award goes to Toastmaster Bhargavi for her prepared speech. Best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Adarsh, who delivered an extempore prepared speech. Okay, congratulations and thanks all of you for attempting your next speeches and moving on in level 2. We'll stop the share. We will start with the.
Chitra, there was one more award
Oh,
for the best
so
role
sorry.
player.
sorry. Okay, sorry. Oh yeah. So the best role player award goes to Toastmaster Harshita for playing the role of TMOD today and sharing a lot of facts about Indian culture and heritage. Congrats, Harshita.
Yeah, thank you, Chitra. I did not expect even. Thank you.
Okay, should we move on to the moments of truth now? Okay. So we will be starting with moments of truth. Vikash and Pritesh, I would go through the meeting and let me know if you are interested in staying back. It would be great if you can also contribute at least to the first section of this meeting. Okay. So basically, Moments of Truth is something that we conduct every 6 months. It's if most of you are in agile projects, so after every sprints we do something called a retrospection, and every PI we do inspect and adapt, right? So something similar to that. So in every 6 months we go through various aspects of our Toastmasters meetings, how the club functions, etc., and all the members and people who attend these meetings regularly provide their feedback on how to improve things, and then from there the executive committee and everybody takes the inputs forward and tries to improve the conduct of the meeting, the way members deliver their speeches, etc. Try to improve all of that. So that is the objective of this meeting. So without wasting further time, I will get started. So I will be sharing my screen. Okay, let me know if you're able to see my screen. Okay. So like I'd explained, the objective is to go through how the meetings have been conducted and how the club is performing as such, and what so we go through various aspects of the meetings and rate the club on various scales there. And for each one of these points, for example, the first impression, the membership orientation. First impression is basically when a guest comes to a meeting for the first time or the second time, how he or she is being welcomed, and basically what is the impression of the guest has regarding the club and how we can improve it. The second point is membership orientation. That is basically once a guest or somebody who's interested becomes a member, how the club helps the member out in terms of whether there is a formal orientation or an induction, whether we go through the pathways for the member, etc. So how that is done and how that can be improved again. The next one is fellowship, variety, and communication. This is basically the main part where how each and every meeting is conducted. If there is good variety in meetings, if the meetings are kept interesting, and if there is the way the members interact with each other. The third one is how the meetings are being organized, and if there is a proper plan provided for each member on how they will complete various levels and various speeches. And the fourth and the fifth one is how your achievements are recognized, and basically various PR activities that do, and then the membership strength, right? So this is basically at a high level what we will be doing. So instead of going through this slide now, I'll pull up the document that we will be going through now, and we will be rating our club based on the points there. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So let me know if you're able to see the screen, the Word document.
Yeah.
Okay. So all this I'll update later. So we'll go to the first point. So that is the first impressions. So how we will start this is, so there are 6 points here. We will among ourselves rate the 6 points. Typically when in a meeting that we have conducted offline in the past, each of these topics, based on the participation, of course, each of these topics is given to a group of people within the club members, and they will discuss among themselves like a group discussion kind of thing, and present these points. So for each, let's say first impression is given to one team, they will discuss among themselves, and another topic. So that is one way of doing. But given that we have very less participation today, we will discuss all the points among all the members. So we will start with first impressions. So first point is guests are greeted warmly and introduced to officers and members. So maybe let's get started. So from one being the lowest to 5 being the highest, let's how much would we rate our club and the conduct for this point? Anyone wants to get started?
Yeah,
I'll give it a 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 from my side also. So
okay,
usually we greet the guests, but the introduction with officers, I think that is
okay.
what we don't have.
Forgot spellings. So is everyone okay with 3? Okay.
I think we can even go higher, 4, I think, because maybe we at least mention every time who is the point of contact next.
Okay.
For them
Yeah.
to even join.
Okay. Okay, for the first point, does anyone want to do any recommendations or anything that we do well besides this?
I just had a point like formal introduction every meeting like would be, I'm not sure whether it is feasible or not based on the sections what we have in our session. So maybe we have to figure out what should be the right way to handle that.
Formal introduction to the club officers. You
Club
mean?
officers, yeah.
Okay. So, but we can tell at least, let's say, VP membership or whoever at the available committee member is there, we can point them to them, right?
Yeah, maybe in the SA introduction that can be included, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. The next one is guest book and name tags provided. So I think name tags anyways doesn't make sense in an online meeting, but yeah.
In terms of guest book, we have that DL list to which we forward our communication. Other than that, I'm not aware if you have something else.
Yeah, we don't have anything. Okay. Okay. I just put. Okay. Tell me the rating.
No, that's fine.
One.
I feel like sprint planning where I'm estimating myself.
Hey, how did the previous one change from 3 to 4?
Huh?
How did the previous one change from 3 to 4? I saw it now.
Yeah. Everybody agreed that we introduce the members, guests every time.
But just now, the moment you spoke, the guests ran away, right?
Okay.
I think it should be higher then.
Okay, so oh, shit. Okay. So what do you think we can do better in terms of following up with guests? Or I mean, basically some online version of this guest book if we can maintain, other than the Toastmaster interest group and the Toastmaster WhatsApp group, we can, what else can we do?
If you ask more follow-up, then I think Gaurav will land at our doorstep. To that level, he keeps following it up, which is good.
I think the conference page that we have, right? We can have one column there, the guests attended, right? At least we have a track. We'll have a track of people who attended. Maybe those people, if they are, very frequent, I mean, they are attending very often, then we can add them to that PDL.
And I think we can publish this Confluence page also in that email, so that it is at least every time, like, and people who have not come also, they get to know.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe once we upload the recording, at that time we can share this Confluence link details so that people can go and watch that also.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Professionally arranged meeting room. So I think we can. So pretty much it is the Zoom meeting that we are conducting, and for quite some time. And
I think it could be 5 here.
Good job, Gaurav.
Yeah. All credit goes to Gaurav.
Seriously. So what do we do well here?
I think everything,
I would say
right?
follow up with
following up, organizing things. He has a lot of things to do.
think Chitra is hungry. She's
Okay,
getting a roll for.
Oh man, I have forgotten English words. Okay. What can be done better? I think, and not just as a say, probably as a club members, maybe, yeah, meeting room arrangement. Yeah, maybe that will come in the other topics. Let's move on. Convenient meeting location. I think our home is the most convenient.
Most convenient.
Instead of Zoom, let's use Teams. That's all.
But Teams still doesn't allow so many videos, right?
I don't know. I think it allows.
No, more than 5, 6, I've not seen.
Yeah, you can't view
Yeah.
all of them. I mean, if more than
There's a gallery
certain number.
option. There is
That is so weird with the people sitting in theater. Floating there.
No, there is one more option where you view many people on that, not the gallery or the something called big picture or some new option. Yeah.
I think till now with Zoom, we have not faced like any major issue. So it's convenient and good.
I think you're talking about home, right?
That's right.
Yeah, probably the only thing is that it is during our lunchtime, and that one day lunch goes.
They don't
is
have
a
anything
little
for
delayed.
convenient time, just the location.
Correct.
I think it should be 5+.
Guests invited to address the club.
Me too.
Yeah, but
Most of the
I mean, I
times.
feel probably I'm just thinking if we should do it before, and if somebody is left out, then we do it later, kind of thing. So that, because towards the end, people kind of leave the meeting and go, and they don't
Maybe,
get.
yeah, when the SA or the TMOD takes over, probably
Yeah,
we can have the introduction.
Maybe in the beginning, it might not be that convenient. Maybe in middle somewhere, like once we complete our speeches and we are going to start the table topic, right? If we just have a session with them, I think they will be more comfortable for table topics also. So during that time, we can fit it for like just for 5 minutes, we can have the one section.
okay. Is everyone okay with 4 or?
Yeah.
Okay, guests
Yeah.
invited to join.
I think that PDL we have to update the interest group, right?
Yeah.
I think that is something that we need to do. It anyway, I mean, whoever is in that interest group gets the invite, but I think we don't update that too often.
Okay, maybe Vikas and Pritesh as guests who are thankfully attending this meeting, and probably the best people to provide your perspective in this. Can you help us in improving? Tell us what we can do better. Any recommendations that you have? We have been rating ourselves. Maybe as guests, you can also help us rate.
Hello.
Yeah, Vikas, we can hear you.
Yeah, actually, I did not understand the question for which you are asking the feedbacks. And
Okay. So the idea here is anybody, a guest who joins our meetings for the first few times, right? What is the impression that the meeting, what impression he or she has regarding the meeting, right? So these are some of the points that we want to measure with. So for example, if guests are greeted warmly and introduced to officers and meeting members, if guests are invited to address the club if they are invited to join. But besides these points, if you have any recommendation or what we can do better to make a better first impression on anybody who is attending for the second time, you can let us know.
Okay, yeah. One thing, for the first time joining, you can send him or her a link about the Toastmaster, because I didn't know what is Toastmaster. I searched it on Google after joining the first session. So then I got to know that it is an international means platform to learn the things. So it is my suggestion, if you will give a little more about the Toastmaster, information about the Toastmaster, what is Toastmaster, what it does, how does it work, as I don't know that how do you calculate the time, is there any analytical tool behind it, or so these are the questions in my mind. So
Sure. Thanks, Vikash. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, just as I was asking I didn't know that how a person can calculate that precise number of time, and how a person can count the how many times he said at in the conversation. So is there any tool behind it, or I don't know. So these things will be helpful for a person who want to join it, or means. So that's
Sure.
all.
Yeah. No, we just use a stopwatch to answer that specific question.
And about the counters, it is just about improving the listening skills. So once you take those roles, you will get to know more about it. Maybe we'll get into touch, like when you want to take any role, maybe any one of us can explain you about that.
Okay.
And Vikash and Pritesh, just to inform you, so to take up roles in Toastmaster, you can start it right away also. You don't have to become a formal member, right? So you can start taking up these small roles like timer and our counter, etc. Even let's say from your next meeting onwards.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Pritesh, anything from you? Any recommendations?
Oh, as such, no recommendations from my side.
Okay. Nitya?
No, Chitra, nothing more from my side.
Okay. So which was the last? Sorry. Guests invited to join. How much do we score our rank?
It's a general communication what we forward to everyone. So it's not a direct communication to which is only for the guests, but it's a general communication which we do. And I think after the last meeting, we started posting these invites in our Yammer also.
Okay.
So on this point, we are.
Yeah, I think we are good
doing
here.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
5, I guess. For me, at least 5.
Okay. Is everyone okay with 5 here? Okay, so we'll move on to the next topic now, membership orientation. So this is once a guest or a non-member is converted to becoming a member, what are the things that we do? So the first one is formal induction, including presentation of membership pin and manuals. So we don't really have membership pin and manuals, but yes, we do have. I mean, there is a procedure where we do a formal induction and presentation where the VP Ed or whoever is the presiding officer takes the member through what is Toastmaster, and the pathways that are available and how a session is conducted. Something like what Vikas was suggesting, right? So that is done in a more formal manner during this membership induction ceremony. Not a ceremony, okay, meeting, right? So that is the first one. So how would you say we read here?
I think whoever is the new members, at least what we did last time was send them few links on what pathways are and some videos on how to select their pathways. How do they do it? But I still feel, I mean, that is something that we do today. But what I feel we can do better is probably, I think in some of the other clubs, what they do is they have a formal induction. When they take oath and all of that, I don't think that is of much importance here. But I feel we should have a very small, session just for the new members, like one of the committee members or somebody can take it, wherein they can understand what exactly it is. I think that will even solve the issue that Vikas was pointing out, right?
Maybe after sharing the links and other details, we can have one small session where they can ask any query. After going through the videos, they might have some questions, so those can be addressed.
Okay, so how much do we rate here?
Should be more than 3, I guess. 3.5 is valid.
Okay, anyone else? Suhas? Harshita?
I'll go with whatever number you decide. Okay.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
3.5. Let's go with 3.5.
Okay. Okay. Anything that we do, any recommendations here?
One thing that we do well, I don't know whether it's communicated from this group or it is by own interest. If you see Sharath posts our meeting invites on Yammer for people to do. That is I think it's a company-wide thing and you do get a notification sometimes. I know Yammer means sometimes people don't even open, but there are people who will actually check that. That is one good thing, that the meeting invites go on a broadcast forum like Yammer.
Wasn't that in the previous section?
Yeah, it was in the previous one. We can make a note there.
Yeah. Okay.
I think here for the first section, recommendation would be the other option which he said, right? After sharing the links, if we can have one small session where a doubt clearing session kind of thing. So which will help the new joiners.
Generally, we'll check the pathways and all in the Toastmasters site link. No, if we if I have any doubt, I will ask to Gaurav only. Like, who is the contact person in such cases?
Yeah, actually, that kind of brings us to the next point, which is assignment of mentors.
Yeah, okay.
Then Gaurav is mentoring everybody.
Okay.
I think for the second point, okay.
But I think to answer your question, right, Harshita, about pathways or anything in general, right, you can reach out to any of the committee members, right, irrespective of the mentor that you are assigned to for your speeches and all of that. You can reach out to any of the committee members. So the next question I want to ask is, do we know who are the committee members?
committee members know.
I think we should have that confluence page.
Yeah, maybe we'll correct this from the next session.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, at least assign the mentor. I don't know who my mentor is.
Yeah, for the mentor assignment section, which is the second point, I believe for the L1 P1, which is icebreaker, we always assign the mentor, but for the higher speeches, we don't have. Maybe at the level wise, we should assign the mentor or something we should have there.
I think Sudhindra, right, sometime back had come up with some mentoring program for our club. I think we have to revisit that and review it.
So I would say assignment of mentor could be 2, because only for icebreaker we do it, but not for the higher levels.
And mentors is not speech wise, right? In the sense that it'll be like, for let's say Gaurav, it is Bhargavi kind of thing, right? So it should be like a defined period of time.
Yeah, at least for a level, it should be, right?
Correct. So that, I mean, the mentor's duty is also to see that, let's say, I push you to give your next speech and things like that.
In that sense, I think Gaurav should be my mentor.
He should be everybody's mentor.
Okay, do we have mentors for the next level assigned already?
No.
Okay.
You
last week you gave your L2 S3 speech, right? You mentioned mentor. Who was your mentor?
I just it was a complete work of fiction, is all I can say.
I think she was her own mentor.
She's her own mentor. Okay.
The inner voice.
Yeah, inner voice, correct.
One more point I would like to add. Though we send the invites in Yammer, probably, I mean, just a thought that probably like how we do the table topics alone, where we have one kind of a session, and we usually, like in the earlier we have done it, we invite all Radisys people, right? So probably that way many would get an introduction as in they get a chance to see the Toastmaster, and probably that way probably we can get more members interested, right? So that probably one thing that we can do, but if not like 3 months once or 6 months once, probably something like that we can plan, so many would get a chance to see and interested. So.
Sure, I think maybe in this section we can include that, but like have some special sessions, and so that members themselves also can get more interested, and at an org level also people are aware of what we are doing.
Right.
Okay, education programs and recognition system discussed.
I think in last 6 months we had 2 sessions. Means one session where we had one for evaluation and table topics. So that education program was there. I'm not sure about the recognition system.
I think it's just the awards, but maybe I have a suggestion here for the recognition system, right? 2 things. I mean, it's been there always, but I think we have to work on it. Some onus, I have to take it on me also. So one is we should have these whatever speaker of the day or role player of the day, that awards we give. The same thing we should put it on the Yammer, or share it across those PDLs, right? When we share the feedback link, so that way people are aware on what's happening, right? Probably that will sort of help. And education programs, I think we should, I feel, rather than having sessions from somebody from outside talking about how to evaluate or how to write a speech, probably we should have certain workshops among ourselves to right? I think we have some really good speakers. We can, talk about how they, tend to go about writing their speech and, evaluating and all of that. And probably we can take one day we can excuse ourselves from the regular Toastmaster meeting and have that kind of a thing where we have more interaction.
Yeah.
One of the suggestions, yeah.
I think one thing we have been discussing for quite some time in terms of recognition is a Toastmaster of the quarter. And
yeah. Right.
So this education program.
This second point, whatever we had, right? Speaker of the day. I think this is better because what I have observed, we have that Agile Guild team, right? So whoever wins the quiz, they always display their photo.
Agile stars.
Yeah, Agile stars. So it's good. People get to know about that thing. Yeah.
Right. And people feel proud and they'll come and give more and more speeches.
Okay. So education program and recognition system. Discussed.
Probably 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Learning needs assessed.
Yes or no?
We are lucky enough to have people attending the sessions. Yeah. I think, I think this is a very tricky one.
0 or 1.
Yeah, I just instead of 0, I think I can put. So yeah, what problems do we see here and what can we do better?
I think in general, people are busy or hesitant to take up a role, right? I mean, probably Gaurav will tell more because whenever he would approach anyone, I think either people are busy or, caught up with something where they can't make time for this one. So the learning needs will come in only when you get to talk to them.
Yeah, this learning needs, I think this can be addressed when we have mentors in place.
Yeah, I agree.
That will be a one-on-one discussion, so it will be better. Maybe if we fix that, then this will be addressed.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, maybe the speaking roles assigned.
I think that is out of order.
Yeah.
Like earlier, we used to have like a roster, right? While of course we may not follow it religiously, but we used to kind of make a plan of who will be delivering their speech, like session on session in advance itself, right? I mean, we may not do it for like a whole year, but maybe for 2-3 months if we make it. And we used to like, if you remember, like if it was my prepared speech and I'm not able to deliver it, then I find somebody else to do it as my duty kind of thing. But is that something that we can follow? Or?
Yeah, we can do that. I think, yeah, we can continue doing that.
Okay, speaking roles assigned.
If it is about the speeches, then we try to get speakers for next 2 sessions. But many times it is not possible due to the availability of the people. So we are trying, but it's not enough, I guess. So it should be 1 or 2, I guess.
Okay.
Hey, not so less, man. I thought you're doing a good job. Yeah.
No, but the result is not there. So maybe we have to figure out something. Member involved in all aspects of
Because
club.
I think we are at least getting speeches delivered every session.
I think for last
barring a
2-3 sessions it is happening, but we had some sessions where we had only one speaker.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, members involved in all aspects of club activities.
Club activity in a sense, it's not only about the session, right?
Yeah.
I think
there's no other club activity that we are doing.
Yeah. So whatever, like for our club meetings, we get the members for all the roles. So it's like different people are for different roles that we are getting for last 4-5 sessions now.
Maybe they should be like ambassadors of Toastmasters, SoundBytes Club. Tell others, how good it is, and get people have more membership.
Okay, this is what can we do better? Rules. Okay, so this, how much do we rate?
So as we have only one club activity, I can say 4 for that.
But other thing also, right? I mean, for your own role, Gaurav, for example, earlier we used to rotate the essay role itself also. While technically there is one essay as a club, whatever officer, but you could say, for example, Nitya play the role of essay for the next 3 sessions. So then it becomes, in a way, her headache to find people for 3 sessions and organize things. That way, I mean, essay is probably the most difficult role, right? Probably
some load off your shoulders.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe a 3 or
3. Huh?
Yeah, I think the upper one also, I guess there's been a lull period, but I think we managed somehow to get the speakers. Yeah.
Okay. I think we are over time now.
Yeah.
So I'll discuss with what's his name, Nitin, and see if we need to conduct follow-up meeting, or if the points that we have discussed itself is enough. Because if there is less participation, I think the same group of people, if we can have another meeting later also, right? Is that fine with everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many more sections are there?
I think 4 more sections are there.
Okay.
This is, okay, that slide is there. No? So we did first impression and membership orientation. Then we have fellowship, variety and communication, program planning, and membership strength, achievement recognition.
Yeah, maybe we can have another session probably the next one.
Yeah.
Take half.
Sure. Okay, is that okay with everyone? The next session, perhaps we can have another half-an-hour session and close on this.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. With this, we will close the meeting.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.